This video is going to lead us to standing half moon pose. It's a challenging one-legged balance. But on the way, we'll do a very thorough spinal warm-up and a variation of the pose that is a little easier to accomplish. And what we want to do is cultivate some loving kindness. So we're going to start by doing that with our own self, and then we will finish with a brief loving kindness meditation. So I invite you to come to a seated position, either in a chair or on your mat. Make sure you have a yoga block handy or also a chair. It can help you balance. So then start to settle in. So perhaps closing your eyes or just gazing at one spot in front of you. Simply inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. So as you inhale, feel your hips rooting. As you exhale, the low belly pulling toward the spine. Back of the neck nice and long. Shoulders soft. So to cultivate loving kindness for yourself, I invite you to think about something that you appreciate about your physical self. Something you do well, or some strength that you have, or perhaps consider something about which you're sort of ambivalent. Maybe it's something you can't do anything about. It's just the way your body is shaped. Or perhaps you think of a real challenge that you have. Maybe it's mobility or an injury or chronic pain. So the point is to be able to sit with any one of those and be present to it. Not a lot of judgment about it. So again, choosing a strength or something neutral or something really challenging, and set that as your intention today. Just being with it in your practice. And then let that go and inhale deeply. Spine nice and long. Exhale out your mouth, big sigh. And do that again. And then drop your chin to your chest. And gently inhale one ear to one shoulder, your nose still pointing forward. And exhale your chin to your chest. And inhale, other ear to the shoulder. And do that one more time each side. Exhaling deeply, maybe shake your head around a little bit. No. Yes. Feel those muscles that attach to the back. And then center your head right back over your shoulders. And look in one direction. And look in the other direction. Come back to center. Take one shoulder up by the ear. And let it drop. And the other shoulder by the ear. And let it drop. And then both shoulders up. And let them drop. Shake them out. Maybe just start to gently twist like 25 to 30%. Starting to get some energy going, and unstick those muscles in between your ribs, the intercostals. Maybe starting to go a little deeper. And then when you get to one side, sit really tall, inhale deeply, and then exhale, twist. Maybe holding on to the hand with the opposite, or holding on to the knee with the opposite hand. And you might want to drop your chin to your chest and just kind of move it around, again, feeling those muscles in the shoulders and the back. So remember, you're your own best teacher. Come on back to center. Get tall again. And we'll go to the other side. Maybe move that head around. on back to neutral. And take one arm up in the air. Take your other hand slightly away from the body. Make yourself space. And then just gaze down at your hand for a few breaths. So maybe you want to bend your arm and then straighten it. Feeling those muscles deep in the side body. Or you could shift your gaze, root your hips, and just look up at your fingertips. And inhale, come on back to center. And take a breath and exhale. Take the other arm up and get ready to go to the other side. So use your breath to make more space. Maybe move your arm around. Or open up your chest a little bit more. And come on back to center. So we'll shift onto our hands and knees. Finishing up our spinal warming with some cat-cow. Maybe you'd like to curl your toes under today and get a nice foot stretch. So fingers spread nice and wide, like Spider-Man hands. Push into the thumbs especially. And on your exhale, hollow out, drop your tailbone, let your head hang. And inhaling, gently arch, make the spine longer. Feel that nice front body stretch. Maybe even drag your wrists a little bit toward your knees isometrically on the inhale, and then exhale, maybe push your hands away from your knees on the exhale. Inhale, knees and wrists towards one another. Exhaling, pressure, knees and wrists away from one another. So one more time. And then come on back to neutral. Walk your hands one hand length forward of your wrists. And that should bring you to a position where you can come to the top of a push-up plank. So stay on your knees if that's better for you. Just take a breath here. Tuck your tailbone toward your heels. And then wherever you are, lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. And go ahead and walk your dog. Take a deep exhale, maybe out your mouth again. Squeeze your upper arms toward your ears. And come back to the top of your push-up plank. You could float your knees down. Just take a breath. Firming up the core. And then come to your version of child's pose. So maybe that's simply walking your hands a little bit forward and letting your chest drop, your forehead drop. Or if you're able to, take your hips toward your heels. And stretch and out the side body. One deep exhale, maybe out the mouth again. So feel free to do any wiggling around that would feel good. And then come back to all fours. And go ahead and take your left leg out behind you. And then exhale, knee to the chest. Do that 2 more times. Heel out, knee to the chest. Last one, left side, heel out, knee to the chest. Go ahead and plant the knee. Take the other heel out, knee to the chest. Heel out. Nice and rhythmic. With your breathing, last one, heel out, knee to the chest. And go ahead and plant that knee. Go ahead and come up standing on your knees. Go ahead and shake out your wrists. And then come back to all fours. Walk your hands forward so that you can come back to the top of your push-up plank. And exhale, down dog again. Maybe it would feel good to walk your dog a couple more times. Pull your belly in and float your knees down. We're going to come to standing on our knees. And you're going to take your left foot straight out to the side, toes pointing forward, right? And inhale, get nice and tall, take your right arm up and gently fold toward that leg. So gate pose, it's great for our internal organs. Couple more breaths. And inhale, come on back up. And this will be our variation on standing half moon. So take a breath here, neutralize. Then pull your low belly in and bring your hand to the floor. If that doesn't work for you, you could come to a block, right? So my hand, my knee, and my foot are all in line. And then you're going to inhale, lift that extended leg. And you just gaze down at your hand. Go a little deeper. Block has different settings. Maybe you take your top arm up in the air. Go ahead and drop that foot. Pull your low belly in. Inhale. Back. Shoulders over the hips. Take a breath. Felt pretty good. Come to the knees. So starting to feel that strength in the body and the warmth. Taking your block to the other side. Foot out. Toes pointing forward. First, we'll take gate pose. Just another nice, easy side stretch. And then inhaling, come on back up. And find that prop or the mat right under your shoulder. Flex that extended foot and lift up. Perhaps taking your top arm up, you can gaze down at your hand. That's the easiest. Then extend the leg as you put it down. Pull the low belly in. Come on back up to neutral. So I'm going to safely swivel myself around to the front of the mat. Be mindful of your knees. Curl your back toe under. Lift your back knee. Coming to a half forward fold. Reach the crown of the head out long. And soften the knees. And inhale, take your arms up overhead. Exhale your hands to your heart. So an easier one-legged balance. Get our foot underneath us. Go ahead and take a tree pose. Wherever that works for you. So use your breath and your focal point. Come back to that intention that you set. Just being okay with your own body today. Maybe you want to grow your pose. Exhale. Come on back to Tadasana. And we'll go right to the other side. So keeping our practices concise so that you can get it done every day. Perhaps put a smile on your face. Everything's easier with a smile. And exhaling, release. So a couple of warrior twos, an extended side angle. A big wide straddle. Maybe so wide that your ankles are right under your wrists. Turn your left toes out. And then exhale. Got the heel to arch alignment. Knee right over the middle toes. 3 breaths here. On your next exhale, take your forearm to your thigh and sweep your upper arm right up by your ear. Maybe you want to gaze down at your big toe. And inhaling, come on back up and turn those toes back to the front. And then we'll go to the other side, heel to toe alignment. Knee right over the middle toes. 3 breaths. Root those feet, your foundation, and forearm to the thigh. Sweep the top arm around. Getting into those hip joints. Firing up the legs. And then come on back up to center. So inhaling, lift your chest, 10 toes pointing forward. Exhaling, slowly and gently, bring yourself forward. Maybe your fingertips find the block or the floor. Just go ahead and bend your knees once. Inhale, straighten. Perhaps you can fold a little more deeply. Firm up those thigh muscles. They'll help release the back of the legs. Take another deep exhale, maybe even out the mouth. And soften the knees. Bring your hands to your thighs. Safely bringing yourself up to standing. So right away we're going to go into that standing half moon on the first side. So turn your toes out. You want to have your block right in front of your foot. So down into warrior two. Then extended side angle. So remember, you could come to your knees and do this on your knee, or you could have a chair instead of the block. You're going to start to walk your back foot in, loading your body weight, top hand on your hip, getting that block right under your shoulder. Inhaling, lifting the leg. Easiest thing to gaze is to gaze down at the ground. Maybe the top arm goes up. So to come out of it, we're going to come to a little chair pose. Pull your knee into your chest. Turn your body toward that leg. Safely landing. Nice work. And go ahead and bring your block with you. Take a breath. Well done. So we're ready to go to the other side. Remember, it's just a practice. So you turn those right toes out. Warrior two. Extended side angle. And then start to load your body weight. Find one place to rest your gaze. Flex that back foot. Stacking your hips. Maybe taking that top arm up. And then coming out safely through a little chair pose. Hands to the thighs. Inhale, take your arms up overhead, Tadasana. And exhale your hands to your heart center. Then take your arms up again. Inhale. Deeply exhale, gently dive forward. So that was a big open pose. We'll calm ourselves down with this little forward fold. Maybe nod your head yes again. Shake your head no. Then soften your knees. Take your left leg way back in high lunge, right knee right over the ankle. And then float that back knee down. Bring the other knee to meet it. And walk your hands forward so that your shoulders are right over your wrists. So exhaling down, chaturanga. And lengthen out your legs. Bring your hands way forward and out to the side. Firm up your legs. Push the tops of the feet into the mat. Just one easy cobra. Inhaling. And exhaling. And then bring your hands right under your head. Make a pillow for your head with your hands. And take a few deep breaths here. So all of this movement so that we can be still. So bring your hands back on your shoulders. Pull your low belly in so you can get your hips up first. And we're going to come to seated. We're going to finish with one seated twist. So have your left leg tucked under if you can. If not, just keep it straight out in front of you. Cross your right foot over. You want to pretend like you might stand up on your right foot. All right, so inhale, get really, really tall. Maybe take that left arm up in the air. So half-seated fish. You might want to drop your chin to your chest. Get a little movement. Feel the muscles in the back and the shoulder. One more deep inhale. And exhaling, gently release. Stretch those legs out. Maybe give them a shake. And we'll go to the other side. So engage that foot. Use this inner thigh. Sit up really tall. And take your twist. Maybe move the head around. And then exhaling, gently release. So I invite you to come to an easy seated position. You're going to sit up on a block. You could maybe even go against a wall. So we're going to finish with a nice quiet metta meditation. So ideally you want to have your knees dropping below your hips, so that's a good reason to sit on a block. The legs are nice and grounded. And so sit up really tall, adjust as you need. And then again, I invite you to close your eyes. And in the same way that you encountered your own loving kindness, we'll do so for others. So think of someone in your close inner circle who you deeply love. And repeat to yourself, use their name, fill in the details. May they be peaceful. May they be happy. May they be free. And let that go. And think of somebody sort of neutral in your life, maybe an acquaintance, maybe your mail carrier, or someone who works in a local shop. If you know their name, use their name. Imagine them in front of you. And again, affirming, may they be peaceful, may they be happy, may they be free. And then let that go. Now choose someone whose being challenges you. Perhaps you've had an argument, unresolved. Perhaps they're just very irritating or have views very different than yours. So name that one person. And honestly, with conviction, say to yourself, may they be peaceful, may they be happy, may they be free. And then let that go. So much like our yoga practice, sometimes the most challenging parts of it are also the most liberating. But remember, it is a practice and it takes getting used to, but this kind of meditation can really change the physiology of our brain along with the collective energy around us. So on your next inhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Exhaling, bow your head to your own heart. Give yourself a pat on the back for taking care of yourself and showing yourself loving kindness. May all people everywhere be peaceful, be happy, and be free. And may we aid in that freedom with our thoughts, words, and actions. The Spirit in me honors the Spirit in you. Thanks for showing up, and namaste.